Hey y'all, it's your girl, Dr. Malika. Listen, welcome to Pivot. I'm so excited to begin this season with some exciting guests. We've got all kinds of folks that we are talking to this season, season 6. Y'all, let me move my little lighter thing. This is not one of the things that's supposed to be in the video, but keeping it. I have this young, fiery, motivated, inspiring, talented brother who is going to share with us his pivot experience. His name is Justin Rowland. Um, I'm not going to be formal with him. I have known him since I think we said 2014, but he'll correct me if I'm incorrect. But he was born and raised outside of Philadelphia. And he is a middle school counselor in Maryland. But here's the lovely thing. He has, and we'll talk about this, but he has taken his love of cooking and totally catapulted his life. I mean, he has changed some things based on cooking. What began as a desire has turned into as just a social media opportunity times 10. So we're excited to share with you the pivot experience of Justin Rowland. You might have seen him on the Drew Barrymore Show. But we've got some exciting other things that he's been a part of. But he's also been on the Black Smoke Barbecue podcast and some other places. And so I'm delighted to. Well, first of all, let me say I have experienced his cooking, but I'm delighted for him to be here to share again his pivot experience and how he's changing not only his life, but the lives of the folks around him. So, welcome, Justin Rowland.
What's going on? What's going on? How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm hanging in there. That intro was awesome.
You like it?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I was smirking the whole time. I'm like, I haven't had an intro like that in a minute. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here on the show. This is season 6 for Pivot, but I have known you, Justin, for a long time. We did I say the right year? We said
Yup, 2014. It was
2014.
July 2014 because I went to Pace and yeah, it was working at the church there and everything. Yeah, it was a great time. It was a great
Oh
time.
my
Time
gosh.
flies.
It flies. And now
Mhm.
look at you.
Yeah, this is
Look at
life.
you.
God's been extremely blessed, has extremely blessed me a lot, and it's just awesome just to be able to cherish all these moments and look back and because I have come a long way, but you got to stay vigilant and be humble at all times. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's crazy that you've actually seen me from literally a freshman in college to now. So like you have the right to be able to, what I'm saying, give me an intro like that. Nobody else can give me an intro like that. You've seen it full blown, so I appreciate that.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, I want to just jump right into you and what you're doing. So you went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is where
Hmm.
we met,
Hmm.
and you graduated with a bachelor's in criminology.
Yep.
Then you earned your master's degree
And
in
school counseling.
school counseling.
Hmm.
And so you're a middle school counselor
Hmm.
and you're doing great work with young lives,
Every
right?
day.
And then I'm going to say all of a sudden, but you might correct me. But all of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
you have pivoted
Uh-huh.
and you've got your shirt on, I think, right? Grub with
Yep.
Just.
Yep.
Yes. So talk a little bit about how was Grub with Just, how did it come about? How was it born? Tell us the story.
So like it's started I've been cooking ever since I was little. And I remember back when I was in grad school, it was 2019, right before COVID. I was making cooking videos in my apartment off campus at IUP.
Hmm.
And when I was home for Christmas break, I'd make cooking videos too. The videos are still up too on YouTube. And I was just freestyling. And then I was kind of like, that's not really taking off like that. I need to focus on school. So the COVID summer of 2020, I was
Hmm.
at my grandparents' crib all summer, like just no contact. I had an online job as a summer school teacher online.
Hmm.
And in my free time, I was just grilling literally all summer. Like I was making different recipes and I would like
Right,
post
right, right.
Instagram stories. I was crabbing, like going crabbing, getting crabs, and just making a bunch of Instagram stories. And like it started drawing attention to the point where like I would go to like events with my dad after, and they'd be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, that's the dude who be on Instagram who crabs." And I'm like, "My Instagram is private. It's literally my story. How do you know this?" So everybody was telling me like, "Bro, you should start your own like cooking page or whatever." And me, I'm like, I'm kind of just trying to focus on school. And
Right.
I started making one day. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I do have this awesome background. I know how to cook. I know how to
Okay.
grill. Let me just try it out. Let me just start it. So I started studying different influencers on Instagram, watching how they do their reels and stuff. And I was like, I'm just making it into my own. So my first video I shot was a tomahawk steak. And I reverse seared a tomahawk steak, uploaded on my main IG, and it went viral. And everybody was getting all these
Wow.
follows and likes and stuff. So this was just like my first video. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know it could actually, like, I can go viral. Because I've gone
Right.
viral multiple times throughout my whole life. But like, never in a consistent way.
Okay.
Um, so then I made my own cooking page. It started off as the Grill Goat. First, it was just outdoors. Then it was the Grill
Okay.
Goat. Then I changed it. I thought it was corny, so then I changed it to Grub with Just. And that was back in 2022 when I first started being a school counselor full time. And
Okay.
it took me probably about a couple months to really start getting that following in and sponsorships and stuff like that. And ever since, it's just been rolling. It's just been like, just, it's just been a blessing, just being able to just share my side gig to the world and share my recipes to the world. And then the doors that open, the businesses that contact you, and the people that just recognize you when you're out in public, like it's just a blessing. I knew I was gonna do something in life where it was gonna be big. I just didn't know really what it was. And once I
Right.
found that niche, it was just the icing on the cake. It just took off. But I try to stay humble at all times and just take it as a blessing. Don't take all this stuff for granted because one day it could be gone in a heartbeat. You see what they did with TikTok. So you gotta stay vigilant and you gotta make sure that you have a purpose too before you have a passion. I feel like that's extremely important.
Well, and that's what an amazing story. Let me tell you, one of the things that caught my attention on your Instagram page was that phrase, or
Mm-hmm.
that it was, kind of one of the facts about you is that counseling is your purpose, but
Mm-hmm.
cooking is your passion. And talk a little bit about, because a lot of people talk about purpose. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about purpose and passion and dreams, but talk a little bit about, from your perspective,
Mm-hmm.
purpose versus passion,
Mm-hmm.
counseling versus cooking. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I can just start off on how I got into working with the kids first, because like I didn't even know what my purpose was going to be when I graduated. Well, I knew what my purpose. I knew it was going to be with the kids. So anyway, this is back in summertime of 2017, I believe. I was a criminology major. I wanted to be a state
Mhm.
trooper. Like I was stuck on being a state trooper. I wanted to be in law enforcement. I was looking up boot camp videos, preparing myself and everything.
Right.
And one summer, my dad asked me, I was working at Marshall's, and my dad asked me, "Hey, Josh, you want to work at the summer camp?" I'm like, "No, I don't like kids like that. Like, kids get on my nerves." He's like, "You sure? All you got to do is just go up there, you know what I'm saying, mentor the kids every day." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll just keep working at Marshall's." Then he called me the next week, asked me if I wanted to go on Fridays only, which is field trips only, and I get paid to
Okay.
go to like amusement parks and stuff. So I'm like, "That's not too bad. Sign me up." So I started working at the summer camp, and I was just working with the kids all day, and I had a ball. Like, so I ended up leaving my Marshall's job and ended up working at the summer camp full time. A couple weeks later, I got profiled by the police really bad outside my house. I was just
Mm.
sitting outside chilling, and the cop asked me if I lived here, showed him my ID, um, was bending it. And literally, the address is on my ID, and he still went to go check in his car to see if I had warrants and stuff like that outside of my own house. So
Wow.
at that point, I realized like it's nothing against cops or anything, but I'm like, could I see my? I want a job where I could go into my job when kids like they run up to me, they talk to me. I don't want a job where like I get in uniform and people are trying to avoid me all day. And at that
Right.
moment, I knew like my purpose is going to be working with kids. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be working with kids in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Because a purpose is something that you're put on earth to do to inspire people. So once I found out that I was put on earth to inspire the youth, whether if it was me being a teacher, summer camp counselor, a school counselor, a behavioral health technician, which are all the jobs I had, I knew my purpose is to make sure that I got a tree of kids who can look back and be like, yo, Mr. Rowland, he held me down. So
Right.
that's what a purpose is to me. And I was teaching in North Philly for a little bit. I can't teach for anything. I'm horrible at that. I'm horrible at controlling the classroom. So I went back to grad school to get my master's in school counseling, had a couple little side gigs in education while I was getting my master's degree. And yeah, now I'm a counselor full time. Now, cooking is where my passion comes in, because a passion is something that you love doing. You know, a purpose is something that you love doing too, but a passion is something that you love doing, and it's just like you just have fun when you do it.
Right. Right.
And don't get
Right.
me wrong, I have fun at work being a counselor, but like
Right.
when I'm cooking, oh, I have a lot of fun. So it's awesome to be able to have a purpose and a passion that both
Okay.
generate wealth, um, open doors for you to try different things, and just give you that experience to just be the best version of yourself that you can. So like a lot of people get confused with passion and purpose. I say a purpose is something you were put on earth to do. Something
Mm-hmm.
that you know, you know, if I were to quit being a school counselor full time to go pursue being an influencer, I know I would fail at life, like because I'm not attacking my purpose. Cooking isn't my purpose.
Right.
Um, and a passion is basically just something that, yeah, I love to cook. Yes, I love social media. Yes, I love to get deals and stuff like that, but it's not my purpose. I still love it, but I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't have a job working with the kids. I would just feel like a failure.
See, and that is critical. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I find to be so important, and
Mm-hmm.
that is discovering your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about your purpose. What did God create you to do? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That it not only impacts you, but impacts the world, impacts the community that you are placed in, right? And so
Exactly.
when you say counseling, working with kids is your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
that just makes my heart glad,
Mm-hmm.
that you've discovered that at a young age.
Yeah.
What I feel like when you talk about passion and cooking,
Mm-hmm.
something that came to mind as you were talking was when you're passionate at something like cooking,
Mm-hmm.
it sparks your creativity. Like you
Mm-hmm.
start doing things that that just right in the moment something
Mm-hmm.
is birthed,
Mm-hmm.
something creative comes about, and you may cook something new that you never thought, or create a new menu or an idea for food. So talk
Mm-hmm.
about some of the neat dishes that you've created, something
Oh,
unique.
yeah.
And the other piece is you don't just do meats, you deal with seafood,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is huge. So talk a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about that creativity.
Yeah, so I realized in order to, and I tell everybody this who want to get into content creating, you have to be different. Like everybody's doing the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. You have to be different. So with my creativity, like I just all my recipes come from when I'm driving on my long drive from work, or if I'm going down to the shore. Bacon wrapped crab legs, for an example. One time I saw bacon wrapped shrimp on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's good. I made bacon wrapped shrimp on my page before, but I was like, what if I put crabs in the bacon? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing
Mm.
that. Made bacon wrapped crab legs, boom, went viral. Or the seafood pizza, for an example, like using lobster biscuits and pizza sauce with cheese, crab, oyster, all that stuff, and put it on top. Or the crab stuffed oysters. Like I literally just go to the grocery store, I'll look around, and I just boom come up with the idea in the grocery store or if I'm driving. But you have to be creative, you have to be spontaneous, and you have to be entertaining. Because if
Say
you're
say
not,
that again. Say that again. I'm
uh,
gonna stop because that was good.
uh,
Do you remember what you just said?
yeah, you have to be entertaining, you have to be
Uh-huh.
spontaneous, and you have to. What was the last one?
Creative. Was it
Cre-
creative?
Creative, yeah.
Yep.
You have to be entertaining, spontaneous, and creative, and different.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, you're gonna look like every other influencer. Um, and as long as you're doing your own thing and you're having fun with it, that's all you really need. So with the creativity,
Mm-hmm.
um, from different recipes. There's been recipes where I've seen on Instagram, and I just tweak it to make it my own. So I'm like, this isn't even my recipe. For instance, like the Old Bay wings I made. I didn't even
Okay.
create that, but I like promoted on my page, and now people are making honey Old Bay wings. So it's like I just added a little different kick to it, and it's just great to just come up with different recipes and just show the world my creativity, and it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing.
Yeah, and we've seen that, your creativity and your cooking and just the
Mhm.
unique flair that you bring to cooking
Mhm.
has opened some doors of opportunities for you.
Big time.
Recently, I guess in the last couple of months, you've been seen on the Drew Barrymore Show, correct?
Yeah, that was
Okay,
crazy.
so let me just say, okay,
Mhm.
Drew Barrymore. When I picture Drew, because now I'm a little older than you,
Mhm.
so Drew Barrymore for me is not talk show host. Drew
Mhm.
Barrymore for me is a little girl on Poltergeist. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so Valerie Bertinelli,
Uh-huh.
all these are like
That was
old
awesome.
shows. Yeah, like
Uh,
old shows. So in this, you're in the younger generation, and so
mhm.
you're experiencing some of these folks that I used to grow up watching when I was a little girl. But
Mhm.
talk a little bit about your experience on the Drew Barrymore show.
So first they emailed me. Shout out to my dog Dakari. He's the one who kind of referenced me. Um,
Okay.
and they emailed me. I thought it was a joke at first. Like I'm like, there's no way. Like
Right.
emailed me. I'm like, is this real? Like, so I called them. They were talking to me. They interviewed me. They interviewed me and maybe like 6 or 7 other people from Philly, because
Mm-hmm.
they do this segment where they pick a random city and then they have a chef come on to cook something in there. So they did the interview. I was at work. I shut my door. The kids were like in the office next door listening, and
Okay.
the interview just went great. And I knew at the end, I'm like, even if I don't get it, like it's just a blessing just to be able to just be interviewed and have the
Right.
possibility of going on the Drew Barrymore show. And he
Right.
hit me up a couple days later and was like, "We're choosing you." And I was like, "Oh snap!" I'll never forget. I was walking in the hallway. There was just a fight at the school. It was a fight, crazy fight, and I was just breaking it
Wow.
up. Walking the hallway, I got the email, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So I went to the counseling office and told my boss, "I'm like, I freaking got it." She was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I freaking got it." She was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "The Drew Barrymore show." And the office just went buck wild. It was just crazy. And then at
Wow.
that moment, I had the I'm him moment. Like I was in my office like crying, like I'm him. Like I was going crazy. And
Oh,
I didn't do anything the rest of the day. I'm like, I'm not doing anything
you
today.
couldn't. You were on
Nah,
such
I
a
was I
high.
was on cloud nine, and just calling my family members, telling them, it was just a blessing. So I took the train up there. I stayed overnight, and yo, it was like you ever gone on a roller coaster and you're going up real slow, and the whole time you're thinking, why the heck did I do this? That was me the whole
Right.
day.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't go to the end of the show too, so I'm sitting up in the dressing room and just watching the show all nervous. My nerves were killing me that day. But once I got down there and got comfortable, it was easy. I didn't really cook for real. Like I just showed them how to do it. I gave them my recipe, and it was just awesome just seeing Drew Barrymore in person, Valerie Bertinelli. They were super.
Ross. Yeah.
Ross,
All
yeah,
the.
Ross. They were awesome. Like they were just welcoming. I had to talk with a lot of them upstairs, backstage too. So
Okay.
it was just a blessing, and I had to hold it in because I didn't want to tell people too soon. I wanted to drop first, but once I got those pictures, I'm like, yeah, I'm posting this. I'm letting people know, and yeah, the love has just been insane since that. The only downside about the Drew Barrymore experience was that funeral. The old president that had Jimmy Carter,
Okay.
his funeral took over like Philly and Maryland. So like the day that episode dropped live, the funeral took over the areas in Philly and Maryland.
Oh, the TV,
I
like,
was
yeah,
yeah, because
broadcast.
yeah, it was a
Mm-hmm.
broadcast. But other than that, it was a great experience. But people in Texas,
Wow.
California, New York, Florida, they all saw it. So I got views, but like I was so pumped for Philly and Maryland to see because that's where I was at. But rest in
Right.
peace to Jimmy Carter. You
Right. Right.
gotta pay the president's
Pay
dues. But
respect. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but other than that, it was an awesome experience. 10 out of 10.
You know what? That is that opportunity,
Hmm.
you know, the blessings that God provides
Hmm.
that you could not, like, you couldn't orchestrate that on your own.
Yeah.
right? Your family,
Yeah.
family members could not orchestrate that on their own for you to be chosen. Even if
Mhm.
somebody reference to your name, you were chosen. And
Yeah.
so I think that is wonderful. So
Yeah,
excited for you.
it's crazy what a phone can do. Like it was a full circle moment. Like, all the challenges I face in life, all the people doubting me, all the people taking advantage of me and saying I wasn't gonna do this and I wasn't gonna be that. It was just like at that moment I knew like, yeah, I'm capable of doing anything I put my mind to. And I inspire that with the kids. Like you could really do anything you put your mind to. You just gotta believe in yourself and block out the noise. There's gonna be people that are gonna not like what you're doing. There's gonna be people that's gonna try to hold you back. There's gonna be people that are going to be temporary in your life, but you got to make sure that you keep pushing because God has an ultimate plan for you. And if you get off task, you can only go downhill. But if you stay focused and you stay vigilant and you stay faithful, you'll be all right. You just got to keep on going.
Absolutely. So, Drew Barrymore, that's, the visible, the TV
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, but I noticed that you also are
Mm-hmm.
part of All Recipes.
Mm-hmm.
The Allrecipes Allstars, is that what it's called?
Yep, Allrecipes Allstars, yeah. And I got them. I started working with them from the Drew Barrymore Show. Like I'm on their
Okay.
payroll and everything. Like, they hit me up all the time for different recipes and articles and stuff. So yeah, that's a great family to be in too. Just being able to have vlogs and recipes on it is just a blessing.
And so that was that how talk a little bit of just a little bit about
Hmm.
that experience,
Hmm.
Did you even know how big All Recipes
At first,
um
I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't until my grandma was like, "All recipes? What in the world is going?" You're literally on all rest. I'm like, yeah, and not only am I not on there, they hit me up all the time. So it's like now that I know that I'm with the big dogs now, I gotta handle my. I gotta just I gotta you can't do the same stuff that you used to do back in the day. You gotta be
right,
disciplined. You gotta be mature because
right,
you have eyeballs on you
right.
everywhere you go. And it's scary, but it's like I needed that because
Mm-hmm.
as you know, the Justin back at IUP, I was a little reckless, but it took me to really grow up and mature and realize that your image of whatever you put out, that's how people view you.
Right.
So you have to protect that image at all costs. So with All Recipes, Drew Barrymore Show, Master Chef, Kingsford Charcoal, all these companies I'm working with and that I'm planning on working with, like you have to protect your image because it's just so important to just protect your image. I preach that to my kids too because they're hard headed as well, just like
Right.
I was.
You know what? You quickly for all those who
Hmm.
don't know, All Recipes is an online. It's online
Hmm.
community of cooks and recipes from all over. I want to say the world.
Hmm.
And so it's not necessarily. It doesn't seem like it's something that you can easily become a part of.
Hmm.
So kudos to you for expanding your work and your cooking, your recipes, and this is to me, I know February is over, but to me, the idea of expanding history, but yet Black history,
Hmm.
taking your culture, who you are, even in the creative place of cooking, and
Hmm.
expanding that and expanding your reach, and exposing folks to Justin Rowland, right?
Yeah.
And your kids and your children's children will know this, will see this. And so kudos to you for contributing to your family line, your generations, but also to Black history.
Hmm.
Okay, so I just want to say that.
I appreciate you.
Oh, that's great. So I have to say,
Uh,
you were cooking pork belly burnt ends,
Bird
pork belly
ends.
burnt ends, right?
Uh,
It was December 18th. That's when it was posted. And
uh,
I noticed that I think you had on like it was December, it was cold, you had on like a
uh,
black jacket. And in the
Eagles
video,
hat.
because I think so. And you
Hmm.
talk about I don't you can talk about it a little bit, but you
Hmm.
talk about making these videos. Now I know as a content creator myself, it's not easy, but
Hmm.
I want to something that caught my attention though as somebody who's watching the little things.
Uh,
You went to go lean, you were talking, you were in a flow and you closed grill, and
Uh,
then you leaned down on the
oh,
grill, and you
yeah.
were like, "Whoa!"
Burn myself.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is, as a content creator, I mean, that worked, and it was
Mm.
perfect for
I
the
didn't really
video.
burn myself. It's just all
You
for
just
algorithm
kind of like
purpose.
all about exactly. So talk a little bit about
Uh,
content creating,
mhm,
how you make it work. I heard somewhere where you studied. Come on
mhm,
here. Okay, you
yeah.
are always a student, right? No matter
Mhm,
how old you get, but you studied, you
mhm,
reached out and connected with other content creators in the area that you wanted your focus your videos on. So
mhm,
talk a little bit about content creating. It's not
mhm.
easy.
It's not. It's not. It's fun, but it's not easy, especially when you have a 9 to 5. And you know, number one, like I said from the rip, it's always about being creative and being different. But if,
Mhm.
for an example, if you're making IG reels, you have to keep your viewer engaged. Like whenever you go on Instagram and you see a reel and you watch 3 seconds of it and you get bored and you click off, that ruins their person's chances of going viral. So in the intro shots is the most important part. Like so when they first see me, they see the background, they see I'm black, they see I got a beard, they see I got a hat, they see my outfit. Now I'm starting to realize that my outfit affects the algorithm. I can't just go in a black sweatshirt and a black hat, like because people are gonna see that and be like, "Oh, look at this dude, I'm clicking off." So now I
Right.
try to dress better. Like I've been at H&M buying better fits, but it's all how long can you keep your viewer on your video? Because
Mm.
nowadays people have short attention spans, so
Right.
And sometimes I be feeling bad. Like if I'm watching like a cooking video, I want to let it play. Like I'm like, oh, this is a trash video, but like I want to let it play to help out the algorithm for whoever it is. But it's like, I click off. So um,
Wow.
that's why studying the algorithm for me was so important because the best algorithm advice I always tell people is find your favorite influencers, scroll all the way down to the bottom, watch the first couple videos that they made, and then watch the recent videos that they made and see how
Mm.
different those videos are. That's the algorithm right there. The lighting's different, the voiceovers are different, the angles are different, the cuts are different, the outfits might be different, the appearance might be different. That all
Right.
counts. And once you find your niche, when you keep studying how people make their videos and studying how your videos act. So like sometimes I'll go in the analytics and watch, okay, most people clicked off at the 13-second mark. I'll go to the 13-second mark on the video and I see that part. And I'll be like, okay, that's what people clicked off at. Wasn't me seasoning too long? Wasn't me just
Okay.
showing myself too much? And sometimes I'll even do this. I'll show my students a video I'm about to post. Like, hey, look at this video I made. Boom. And I'm watching them the whole time, counting 1, 2, 3 to see how far they turn away. And when they turn away, I'm like, why'd you turn away? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, why'd you just turn away? Why didn't you finish watching the video? They're like, oh, I thought you were done. That's just the answer I needed.
Ah.
So now I edit it just from that response. So like I take, I'm giving up a free game. That's what I'm saying. This is all it is. But like once you've been studying the algorithm and just doing that, like you'll finally start to get your niche. And there'll be times where like this past month and a half, it's been down for me. Like it's cold outside. People are
Right.
not really interested in cooking, but like when the summer comes, that's when I usually go crazy.
Right.
Because the
Right.
weather's nice and everything. It's beautiful. So like you'll have down parts and you'll have up parts, down parts. But as long as you stay consistent, nobody can tell you anything.
Well, you know what? You stop right there because that's good information and that's enough
Mm-hmm.
free info.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I tell everybody. Because of people when I first started, when I reached out, when I went to them for advice, like, hey, I'm starting my cooking channel. They gave me the best advice. So I always give my flowers back to people. I tell them the same thing. People hit me up all the time. What's the best advice you got for this? I'm never selfish with anything because like I said, I'm still an educator. I still love teaching people, and I want people to generally succeed and accomplish their goals. I'm not that type of person to be like, oh, I ain't giving you the sauce because I don't want you to make it because I need it all for me. Like, nah, like
Right.
there's so much room for everybody to eat. You just got to be disciplined and consistent with it.
Absolutely. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate that though. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. So as we head on and I want to remind folks to check you out on Grub with Jess on Instagram. But you're also on YouTube. Are you on
Yeah.
Instagram more?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram more. And I will say this to the viewers. If you are on a diet, do not go on my page. Do not go on Grub Adjust. You can watch a little bit of my videos, but this is a big back channel. So if you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, I would not recommend watching my videos. I stay vigilant with that because you will gain some weight watching. I make from steak to the most unhealthiest big back foods ever. Nah, I'm joking.
I love it. So
Yeah.
listen, I know you just gave some really good advice, and I appreciate the
Mhm.
fact that you do not gatekeep. But I
Nah.
want you, let's talk to the viewers, those
Mhm.
in our pivot family, who are pivoting,
Mhm.
um, might be a little nervous
Mhm.
about their purpose, their passion.
Mhm.
What's some advice, about two or three things that you would say to somebody out there who is
Mhm.
working a 9 to 5, really trying to make this other thing work,
Mhm.
and really trying to figure out, is this my passion or is this my
Mhm.
purpose? What would you
Yeah.
say?
I would say I think a lot of people are scared of failure. And I say fail stands for first attempt in learning. Like you can't be scared of failure is one of the best lessons that you will ever have in your life,
Mm-hmm.
whether if it's
Mm-hmm.
relationships, family members, at work, school. Every time you fail, it's a first attempt in learning. You learn from it. You can't be scared of failure. It's gonna happen. You're gonna fail at something in life. But you gotta let those failures make you move different and make you just be a better version of yourself than you were before. So like for an example, I've been making cooking videos since 2017. I didn't understand what the algorithm was. I was just freestyling, going outside, talking the whole time. The YouTube channel I made 5, 6 years ago was a fail. It was a failure. But I was able to sit back, study, go to school, um, and learn it. But like I had to get out that mentality where, dang, if this doesn't work out, is this gonna be embarrassing? Like, nah, you just gotta keep on pushing. I know
Right.
people that have ideas after ideas after ideas after ideas every year. One year he's selling t-shirts, the next year he's doing a podcast. Now he's a rapper. For like the grind don't stop. He don't care about failure because he
Right.
knows if I keep grinding, sooner or later I'm gonna get it. So
Right.
for me, it took a couple times. Even when I used to have a podcast kind of joint where I talked about college life and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't my time. And sometimes it's just not your time either. Like, God has a different plan for you in the moment and he wants you to focus on something else. And that might be why it's not popping off right there because it's not your time. God has a
Right.
time for everything that you do. Um, but if you, like I said, if you just stay disciplined, stay consistent, stay prayed up, like you could do anything you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it has to be like achievable too. Like sometimes like me being a rapper, I would never try to pursue rap because like I just know I couldn't do it. Like it has to be
Right.
something that you're confident in, that you know that you could bring value to this world some way or how. You just got to figure out how you're gonna do it, brainstorm it, and do it without any do it unapologetically confident. Like just be yourself. And don't just be yourself and don't look back. Just keep attacking your goals. I feel like that's like the best advice. Stop being scared of failure. It happens. I love like I hate failure, but I love failure because every time you fail at something, you have to soak it all in. Like you have to sit back and really enjoy the failure, so that way you're gonna come out 10 times stronger. And that's just in life, relationships, family issues, school issues, coworkers and stuff. Like you're gonna go through some failure, but let that build you and make you a better person. If you let it crush you and destroy you, then you letting failure win. Failure doesn't win with me. I take lessons from it and I enjoy it. So yeah, that's probably
That's good. You have a love-hate relationship with failure, but
yeah.
you come out on the winning side, and that's what we say.
Hmm.
We have intentional and unexpected changes in our life, but
Yeah,
we're still winning.
exactly.
Justin, thank you so much
Oh
for
no, thank you for
joining.
having me. You know what I mean? I needed this. I'm actually going on another podcast on Friday too. Um,
Well, this is good.
Yeah, so no, I love. Thank you for having me. Anything you need, I got you. You had me since day one when I was a freshman. When it came to cooking, when it came to offering me a freaking job, like I was getting money. Man, I think how much was it a Sunday? Was it like 30 a Sunday? I can't remember, or
Was
50.
it 30?
I don't know. I
Listen,
can't remember. It might have even. I think it was 50. I think.
listen, shout out to my husband, Mr. Theo Turner, who
Yeah,
was
shout out to him.
pastor at the time. It
Yeah.
was Pastor Theo, and we had
Uh-huh.
a church up there, New Beginnings.
New
And
beginnings.
He was paying the students to come do,
Yeah.
what was it, setup?
Me and Don, we had to set up, we had to do the altering, the tissues whenever somebody was crying and stuff. It was great. I made a lot of great Walmart trips with that money. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of great Walmart trips that I didn't have, money I
Oh,
didn't have, but it was good to have a job, especially to put it on my resume too. I put New Beginnings, it's still on my resume.
are you
Like,
serious?
yeah, New Beginnings is on my resume still.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah.
that.
Which I think your name is on it too. You and Mr. Theo's name is still on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show,
appreciate
and
you.
just I'm just so proud of you and what you're doing. And I know that there's so much more to come. So
Uh-huh.
thank you. Thank you. You stay
Oh,
with
no,
us,
thank you
okay?
too.
Hold on,
Cool,
all right?
cool.
So, y'all, that was Justin Rowland. He is doing some great things. Please, please, please make sure that you check him out on Grub with Jess on Instagram. He's doing some fantastic stuff. And the food, though, the food looks delish. So don't, if you're dieting, okay, be mindful or check it out, but be disciplined. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Pivot with Dr. Malaika, where we talk to folks who are experiencing intentional and unexpected changes in their life, but they are still winning. Thank you.